Brought to you by Barton Community College. Explore your future and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
They line up in double tight, power eye, gonna run trap, toss, power, little play action here and there. Defensively, they are long, they are athletic, they are fast.
They go north and south. I mean, it's just relentless. It's like they're just going to keep knocking on the door, keep doing it. And if there ever is a crease or something, man, it just explodes.
Historically, our programs are always kind of near the top. There's a lot of pride in both programs, especially a lot of pride with the kids and how we play. We both like to play physical brand of football.
First 3 games were good, and then the fourth one kind of went bad. But you could steadily see the team just getting better and stronger and smarter and wanting to go a little harder scouting them. Watching them, I think we got a pretty good shot.
They have a good structure. They're coached very well. They're going to be sound and disciplined, with what they do. And I think it'll be a really good challenge for us.
They're physical. They're playing extremely hard. They have great length and size. They're hard to move. You got to find good angles and creases, and when you get them, you got to take advantage of it.
I want to get him on your team. Can get him back on our team. That'd be the best way to stop him. He's going to certainly be all fired up for this game.
It's another opportunity for me to play the game that I love. Obviously, it'll be against Kansas City Chiefs, but I'm going to treat this week just like it's any other week. When I look back at that time in Kansas City, I'd say, man, just a young guy just trying to find himself in the league. Man, I was able to learn from so many guys.
And welcome to Sports Day on 1590 KVGB, 95.5 FM, the talk of the town. Yes, indeed, it is the Friday Sports Day show. Steve Webster with you in here today. Aaron Clark alongside. Mike Corson is in today.
Lots of creases.
Lots of creases, north and south. Is Zach Baird talking about geese? Or is it... Anyway, I don't know if they'll be going much north and south today or not, but... Okay, also Landon Winkler running the controls here today. Mike Hesher is going to be doing basketball here in about 30 minutes. If he found his way to the Hutch Sports Arena. But I bet he did, so...
His navigation skills are a little crisper than mine.
I wasn't comparing him to anyone else on this program today. So it'll be Barton doubleheader. Lady Cougars play at 1 today, pregame at 12:45 on B104.3. The Point as they take on NEO, Northeastern Oklahoma from Miami. And then the men will play at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Busy sports day on B104 today. We'll also have Panther football coming up tonight at 6:30. Okay, let's get to our sound. On the show today, Sunflower Sports Solutions, Connor Nickel. We're going to breeze through the look at all the big games tonight, regional playoff action. Lacrosse football coach John Webster, they're getting set to head to Hoxie tonight to take on the Indians and Weston Sharks, talking about his Crusader team that will square off against the Great Bend Panthers in Wichita. Aaron Beck was talking about that yesterday on our sounds the past 24 hours. Said they'll need a strong showing from the Panther defense. I would concur. Stop the run, make them do something they're not accustomed to.
I was looking at Capon scored at least 33 every week. So not good, but Great Bend is one of the better defenses in 5A. The high point, Capon won 33-21 last week against the Wichita Heights team that was 5-4 on the season. So not an outstanding score by any means. Certainly after what Great Bend did that to Salina Central. This one
it's definitely doable tonight.
Not a typical 1-9 matchup.
That Heights win was the last. That was week 8. They're actually coming off a 63-7 win over Salina South in the opening round.
Who I believe lost 27 straight games.
Yeah,
Isn't
it's
that incredible.
Not been a powerhouse Salina South team like you might be accustomed to. But I like what you said, Webby. Make them get out of just being able to run in that I formation, 2 tight ends with a fullback. And Great Bend, I kind of like it. They've shown some real versatility. I expect we'll see some 5-man fronts at times tonight from Great Bend like they pulled out against Dodge City.
They can do them both, man.
Exactly. Make them have to play extremely sound, and Great Bend's really been able to capitalize off the mistakes and turnovers. I expect to see the Panthers do the same tonight.
Okay. Zach Baird saying his team will have to be ready for a dogfight. And I told Cole Reif this. Hoisington always defers. Beloit always takes the ball to start the game. So Beloit's going to have the ball first. First 3 plays of the game will decide the outcome of this. Just
set the tone.
If Beloit's 3 and out, that's a very good sign for the Hoisting Cardinals because they've been Beloit's really limited on what they can do other than running the football. And they love to, and Beloit loves to go on 8-minute, 9-minute drives. So
it seems like this game happens every year, and I think there was the one time it was really a one-possession game. Usually they're fairly close, but other than the one classic, Hoisington always has the edge, and on paper it definitely looks that way.
Okay, that will be on 100.7 Eagle Country. Cole Reif will have the call tonight at 6:30. Beloit head coach Brad Gober excited to add another chapter to this rivalry. And like you said, it's always a physical football game, and they'll kick off tonight at 7 o'clock. J.D. Klima, head coach of the Central Plains Oilers, going to Coldwater tonight to take on the Timberwolves, the Thunderwolves, the
Timber.
The Wolf of Timber. That'll be a good football game tonight. Two teams that are a lot alike, kind of flew under the radar this year. And then you look up at Central Plains is 7-2. Went on the roads and beat the tar out of Thunder Ridge last week. So
hard to even call 102 points video game numbers because you have to be stretching to put up that kind of a score.
That was the week before, and then they came back and got 58 last week. So 58-6, I believe it was over Thunder Ridge. Good ball game tonight. We talked to J.D. Klima yesterday. They kick off from Coldwater at 7. La Crosse, the other team in our area, remote or close area anyway, they're at Hoxie tonight. John Webster will be on the show coming up. Boy, two big games in the Big 12 tomorrow. KU, they head to Ames, Iowa to take on Iowa State, and that's a 6 o'clock kick tomorrow night. We'll have it for you 5:30 on Hits 106.9. I was telling you earlier, this is going to be perfect for KU unless Ames, Iowa, other than the North Pole, is probably the coldest place on earth.
It gets that Iowa hits a little different from what I've heard. A couple of fellows I talked to at Emporia State who came from Iowa, they talked about it just gets bitterly cold there around November time. So I don't know. It'll be a fun test for the Jayhawks.
That cold, wet,
but
it's going to be nice tomorrow.
I wasn't there on a game day, but you can get where you're going in 4 minutes anywhere because the stoplights know when you're coming. Best stoplights I've ever seen. I've driven quite a few places. They'll be like, oh, car coming, green. No sense of sitting there for nothing in a red light in Ames, Iowa.
Well, if you're driving up there for the day of the game, it's pretty easy find. You don't have to do many stoplights. Okay, so think of that if you're headed to Ames tomorrow. 5:30 on Hits 106.9. K-State and Texas tomorrow. Texas just want to go out and do what they've done the last 6 times they played them. Played K-State. Just run the football, and then when you're done running the football, then you run the football some more. I don't have Bijan Robinson this year, but their rushing game has been very good. That's what they're going to want to do against Kansas State. This would be a great chance for, how about Oklahoma maybe go down tomorrow? That'd be good. Texas and Oklahoma, and all of a sudden Oklahoma plays at Oklahoma State in Stillwater, last of Bedlam. Be fun to have those two teams all of a sudden with 2 losses in a crowded Big 12 field.
Well, this is the second week that Fox Noonday is going to cover a Kansas school. I believe they'll be down in Austin.
Are they? Okay.
Because that is the noon game on Fox, so I believe that means they'll be there.
Okay, so good football, big weekend. Then, what a time! This works perfect. I really, I was worried about, I can't get up on Sunday morning and watch a football game. Well, I get to sleep an extra hour.
Oh, I hadn't even thought about that.
Yes. We get an extra hour of sleep to get up at 7:30. Well, actually, it'd be like 8:30.
Yeah, so the game, instead of starting at 9 or 8:30, it actually starts at 9:30.
Yeah, you turn your clocks back this weekend.
Woo!
So, the Chiefs, that was Steve Spagnuolo talking about facing Tyreek Hill, and Tyreek Hill talking about facing the Chiefs. I thought Tyreek Hill, that was a good comment. I kind of was wondering if he'd come out and bash the Chiefs, and what, they did everything for him. In fact, they gave him one chance. They gave him another big chance. And just things didn't work out. It was one of them business deals. You don't want to see Tyreek Hill walk, but that's the way it goes in the NFL. Those are good comments by Tyreek Hill. They'll play tomorrow, 8:30 on B104.3 The Point.
I liked what he said, too. Like you said, it was a business deal why the relationship didn't work out. That doesn't mean you have to look sourly on the time they did spend together. Very productive career between Tyreek Hill and the Kansas City Chiefs. Now he's on the Dolphins, and I'm very excited to wake up and start a full day of Sunday football.
Yeah, I think it was after that clip, he says, there'll be plenty of trash talk, but it'll be the fun kind. So you might see the helmets going up and down, and you never know how quickly that can escalate with old Tyreek Hill, but be curious to see how much he's able to talk.
Well, what he's been able to do in the past, I mean, let him score a long touchdown, and then he'll try to do one of them unbelievable backflips he does, and he'll come down wrong on his knee, and he'll miss the rest of the game. I don't know if you want to count on that. But
the only issue is how many points will the Dolphins have scored when he does that.
So who wins? I think Chiefs are going to be focused. I don't know if that's going to be good enough to win the game. This is a big test for the Dolphins. Can they go out and do it? I think the Chiefs are going to be ready to go.
I think Chiefs are going to be motivated after coming off a loss against the Broncos. It's going to be a tough scene trying to stop them, but I don't think Kansas City is going to go quietly against the Dolphins. It'd be them dropping back-to-back games in Germany. Andy Reid's going to be hyped up off the bratwurst, and Chiefs going to be rolling.
And I got burned last week. I said the same thing about Oklahoma. Oh, they'll be hyper-focused this week. Kansas doesn't have a chance. I like Miami. They scored too many points that I don't think Kansas City can quite hang with them at the moment.
Let's see.
But where's our girl going to be? If she's going to be in South Africa, we know how Kelsey's going to play, so that you can write him off.
Is that why you wore that Miami blue shirt in here today?
It's back-to-back days with Miami colors. What's going on?
I didn't the same teal shirt for back-to-back days.
No, he had the teal.
I was
orange.
All right.
I'm repping the Panthers today.
All right. Quick sports headlines today. Again, Barton, 1 o'clock tip today. Lady Cougars followed by the men. B1043 The Point starting here in about 4 minutes. Barton women's soccer, they win yesterday 4-1. So both the Barton men and women into the Region 6 Plains District Soccer Championship. 1 o'clock tomorrow at Johnson County Community College. It'll be Barton against Cowley. Then the men will play at 3:30 as they will take their crack at Cowley. Good luck to the Cougars. Also, Region 6 volleyball tomorrow. Semifinals at Barton Community College. Dodge plays Colby at 4, followed by the Lady Cougars at 6:30 against Butler. Championship game at the Kirkman Center on Sunday at 2 o'clock. The winners, 3 teams, a chance to move on to the national tournament. So that's pretty cool.
Good for clearing that up. Not sure what we said yesterday, but had several people asking, well, if they play the semifinals, do they have to wait to see which high seed's going to host Sunday? So
nope,
next 2 days at Barton.
At Barton. Okay, coming up, Connor Nichols. We've got John Webster, Weston Sharts. Oh, and the Great Bend Rec guys are going to try to horn in on the show today. I love it when they're in here. Okay.
The very end.
Yep, coming up here on Sports Day.
When it comes to car maintenance, it's good to know a local guy that can get things done. The Eller family has been in the auto repair business in Great Bend forever. Greg Eller continues that long tradition of helping people. Eller Automotive Repair specializes in wheel alignments, oil changes, and general maintenance for all makes and models of cars and small trucks. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Thursday, 8 to 4 Fridays. Eller Automotive Repair at 915 Morton, right behind Great Bend Appliance, Furniture, and Sleep Source, 10th and Morton.
Love your phone but tired of your current provider? Bring your device to Nextech Wireless and experience wireless built by Kansans for Kansans. For a limited time, get 4 lines with unlimited data for $100. Have questions? Call or text our local customer care team at 877-621-2600. Nextech Wireless. Home on the range.
Millers of Claflin is the place to be today. The Shopping Over the Holidays $10,000 shopping spree presented by Mater Plumbing, Heating and Air, your Bryan dealer, whatever it takes, and Bauer Computers. Hey, everybody, this is Scott Donovan inviting you to come on by. Make the trip to Millers of Claflin today where they got their mattress sales event going on. Special financing going on. No money down, no credit needed. Free delivery and setup, as always, with qualifying purchases. So come on in and find out more. They've got the largest in-stock selection. And right now, during this special mattress sales event, you can get a $300 gift card with select mattress purchase. Come on in, get all the details, talk to the entire crew here. They will take care of you. 13 showrooms of furniture and flooring and mattresses and everything that you need for the holidays. So let's get that house looking good. What do you say? Come on by Millers of Claflin before 5 o'clock today. Get yourself qualified. Who knows? $10,000 in new furniture. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? On December the 16th, from your friends at Mater Plumbing, Heating and Air, Bauer Computers, and Millers of Claflin. Good luck.
It's Friday, and that means game day in the Golden Belt. To help us prime the pump, Sports Day brings you Sunflower Sports Solutions, Connor Nickel.
Indeed, Connor Nickel, Sunflower Sports Solutions, coming your way today, presented by BP Clean Right. Connor Nickel, great sponsor, helping you get this venture underway.
Yeah, they've been great. Actually communicated with them just a few days ago. They've been a great sponsor. We've done the Athlete of the Week every single week. They've sponsored every piece that we've had. And the round of 16, Steve-O, I think this is the best Friday all season long. Basically, every conference, every region, every quadrant in the state has somebody left. And there's a lot of matchups on paper, many that we will talk about, that are really, really close.
Okay, for the Western Athletic Conference, I think it's been a great year. But I'd put it a good year. A great year would be if they had a bunch of teams advance tonight in 5A, and there are 3 games: Great Bend, Capon, Hayes, Goddard, Eisenhower, Mays, and Liberal. Who advances on from the WAC?
Yeah, there are 2 conferences specifically in the western half of the state that are really in the crosshairs tonight. The heart of America has multiple teams left, and then, of course, the WAC. It's the first time since 2011 that the WAC has had 4 teams at 500 or better. I want to start with the Hayes High matchup first. I've got this as basically a toss-up, but I've got Hayes High as actually a slight favorite. They've beaten Goddard Eisenhower in 2 playoff games the last several years. A couple years ago when Jaron Kanek was hurt, they won in the final seconds. The way that Hayes High has done 2 things, passing the ball, Carter Graham improving at the quarterback, and their defense, Dalton Myers and Wyatt Kirkpatrick at linebacker, have continually made big plays. You go back to that win against Great Bend in week 2. Dalton Myers knocks down that really key 4th down pass in the end zone, and then when they won the WAC, when they won that double overtime game at the Redskins, Myers and Kirkpatrick tackled Kappelman on the final play to seal it. And last week, Myers blocks a punt early on that really flipped that game fast. So those 2 linebackers, both of them first-year starters again, have had unbelievable years. Eisenhower, of course, their best season that they have ever had wins-wise. Great Bend Capon, big matchup here. I want to kind of percolate 2 theories here. I've talked to some other people about this. One, obviously Capon is ranked number 1. But it's not a huge number 1 like you've seen with Mays the last several years. You know, Steve-O, sometimes you have to rank a team number 1 because you have to have somebody there. And I do think Capon has maybe the best player in Kansas in Omari Elias, but I don't think that they are a clear-cut number 1 at all. And if you look at some of Capon's game flows this season, you know, whether it be Heights, East, Northwest, who of course they lost to, you know, these games have been really, really close. Defense and special teams has made a huge kind of impact in those contests. Elias will get the ball 35 times tonight. I think everybody knows that. And he's probably going to rush for 200 yards. I think everybody knows that. But what happens outside of the Elias carries, I think, will really dictate this game.
Okay, Liberal and Mays. Is that going to be a problem for the Redskins tonight?
I've got the Redskins as a slight favorite, and going back to Dalton Myers and Wyatt Kirkpatrick, I also talked to them about what was it like to guard and to play against Kappelman men on defense. And I watched some LAH film from last week. Kappelman does such a great job of knowing when to run, when to wait, and then run, and when to pass. And the Redskins this year have averaged 6 yards per rush. And obviously, Kappelman's got about 770 yards on the ground. And even last week against Newton, they had a play that at about the Newton 12. Kappelman takes a snap, comes back, waits 3 seconds. Then a hole develops on the left. He cuts back and he scores. Does an exceptional job of that, and his ability to make plays with his legs, I think, is going to be the difference. Mays has only rushed for 3.6 yards per carry this season. Drew Kemp at quarterback has stepped in for, obviously, Johnson, who, of course, is now playing for K-State. He's put together a nice season. Bryson Hayes, the burner on the outside, 46 catches, 8 for scores, 4.25 speed. He's been offered by several big 12 schools. But if the Redskins can run the ball consistently, I think that they get a big win here.
Connor Nickel with us, Sunflower Sports Solutions on Sports Day. Okay, let's go to 2A. This is a juicy West bracket. There are some great matchups here. And let's get started talking about the one just up the road. Hoisington takes on Beloit. Hoiston 9-0. Beloit up and down season 5-4. Any problem for the Cardinals tonight?
No, I don't think so. I think that if the Cardinals play at the level they have played at all year long, I think that they pull away and win here. The major, if I were to summarize this in 10 seconds, Hoisington has such an advantage at quarterback. They have some advantages too at some other places, but they are so much better at that spot. This has been a classic Beloit team. You know, they're going to run the ball 95% of snaps. If Tony Moore can be Tony Moore tonight, I think Hoisington's fine.
Ellsworth Garden Plain.
This is going to be a fun one, and I think that Garden Plain probably is the slight favorite. I really do.
Yeah.
You're going to see 90% run. Ellsworth has struggled in some games like this over the last 2 years. Gage Lee, who broke the single game rushing record for Garden Plain earlier this season, he's going to get the ball very similar to Capon. He's going to get it 30-plus times. It's going to be what happens in those other snaps that don't involve Gage Lee that will probably affect this game. But I just think Garden Plain's ability to wear down teams this season and Ellsworth's struggles in those games give Garden Plain a slight edge.
I love Norton, and I know they haven't blown people out the way that people would expect them to. Cole Rife kind of thinks TMP will give them a good game tonight. I don't tend to agree with that, although Norton has blown people out. What about that game up in Norton tonight?
Yeah, I think that, in fact, I was communicating. I know a lot of these TMP parents really, really well. I coach several of their siblings, and I think that TMP. The issue with TMP is, again, who's healthy, and they had a great shutout win against Larned last week. They're going to be down at least one key starter. They've got one two-way starter who's very, very banged up that is probable to play tonight. TMP is going to play really good defense. Can they stop Roman Hauser enough? I've got this as kind of a 20-6 type of game. I just don't know if TMP, which has had offensive ups and downs all year with, they've had to play 4 different quarterbacks this season, if they can score enough to win on the road.
Should Southeast of Saline be on upset alert against Kingman tonight?
Well, obviously, this was maybe the best game in Kansas all last year. Kingman wins in 2 OT, but Southeast defense, the ability to make negative plays. I mean, you lead Kansas in tackles for loss. You're top 5 in sacks. You're number 1 or number 2 in turnovers forced. I mean, offensively, SES has been really good. but their defense has just been incredible this season. Number 2 and 2A, top 10 all classes in scoring D. This is a very strong Kingman team, but not what they've been the last couple of years on defense. Carter Helm's a really good player, and if you can take him away in the kick return game and force Kingman to try to win it on offense and defense, Helm had a huge 90-yard kick return in one of their games earlier this season that really changed that. But I think that if SCS can be even on special teams tonight and just kind of play their game, it's weird to say, as good as Kingman has been on defense the last 4 years, that they're facing a team who has a better defense. I think Southeast has that tonight.
Okay, let's go to some of our area 8-man schools, and we'll start with La Crosse. Taking on a one-loss Hoxie team tonight. Thoughts on that matchup in Hoxie?
Yeah, I texted with Coach Webster about 10 or 12 days ago or so, and I said, last year, so many injuries, just a lot of turmoil with that team. And he goes, this team's been really fun to coach. I've enjoyed coming to practice every day. Caden Morgan, we actually went through the records, and Caden Morgan will finish, since Coach Webster's been there since 2007, he will finish top 3 in total offense, passing offense, a great 4-year player. La Crosse last year passed it a bunch. Number 1 in 8-man Division I in pass rate last year. This year they're much more balanced. But Duncan Bell for Hoxie has been the story all year. Could Hoxie pass the ball consistently? The passing game and, frankly, the ability to catch the ball has improved as the season has gone on, and Bell still has no picks. Hoxie has 3 turnovers all year long. You've got some super athletic kids on defense, Mater and Watkins, but the ability for Hoxie's passing game to really improve has made this probably a sub-state caliber team.
Central Plains, Connor's been flying under the radar all year, and then they go to Thunder Ridge, a team I know lost a ton off last year's team that reached the state championship game. But they ended that game like early in the third quarter. They dominated that game. Now they go to South Central, a team that's kind of got better as the season's gone along. 2 teams that are really alike, especially in school colors, but South Central and Central Plains tonight.
Yeah, and whoever wins this game can walk away saying, we made the state quarterfinals and have definitely probably exceeded anybody's expectations. Both of these teams, especially South Central, very non-senior heavy. South Central had that huge win against Kinsley. I think this is going to be a really close game. South Central is really dynamic with multiple players, probably has a little bit more offensive depth. I think this is one of those games where you say, I don't know if 2 teams 10 weeks ago thought they were going to be here, but it's been kind of cool to see how it's played out. And the winner of this game's, enjoying a great season. I think definitely if South Central wins, with the classification changes and some other things for next year, South Central's got to be thinking we're going to be a top 5 team next year, because I think really only, Steve, only one senior really plays for them. They're very dynamic at quarterback, and obviously CP a really nice turnaround.
Okay, I'm not sure if a lot of people up in Victoria are on upset alert tonight, but I don't know how healthy South Barber is right now. I saw them play earlier. They really just basically dominated South Central earlier this season. They've got a good quarterback. Victoria should make sure they pay attention tonight, even though the Knights have been on a big roll since that opening loss of the season.
Yeah, I completely agree. Coach Cantrell has been at South Barber something like 20, 25 years in some form. Obviously, Coach Oberle's been there for a long time. These 2 teams have rarely matched up. In fact, only in 2 playoff games, both of them incredible contests. A number of years ago, one of them I remember that Victoria won on the final play. South Barber's going to run every formation in the book. Coach Cantrell is known for offense. They've been top 10 in scoring offense 4 or 5 years going now, and they've got a lot of dynamic skill players. But as it is, when anybody faces Victoria this year, can you match the depth and can you play against that line? And I talked to a couple coaches last week just to kind of get the recent pulse of Victoria, especially after Kinsley lost out. And everyone is like, 8-man Division II West favorite. It starts with Victoria and that line up front. I mean, Kyle Huser, the 250-pound center, might be, and Coach Oberle has said this to me, might be the best lineman he has ever had. I mean, they are just that good. And for the ability for Landon Schmidtberger to make a lot of plays on quarterback, he's improved a lot this season. A major reason why they've just kind of rolled here. I think Victoria wins in like a 50-30 type of game.
Connor Nickel with us here on Sports Day today. John Webster's blowing my phone up. He says, man, we're getting ready to leave for Hoxie here. You need to get a hold of me. We're going to have him on coming up after you. Connor, certainly appreciate it. And how can people find out more about what you do day in and day out?
Yes, my Twitter is at CNICHOLLHAYS. And again, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and then Sunflower Sports Solutions online, S3.
Connor Nickel joins us on Sports Day. More after
is
this.
a homegrown company with almost 50 years of experience in asphalt, paving, and construction, and they need equipment operators, mechanics, and CDL drivers. Venture offers many benefits, including 401k and Blue Cross Blue Shield health insurance. Call Leslie for all the details. Work for a family-owned and family-oriented company that is here today and will be here in the future. Venture Corporation, South Highway 281, Great Bend, is an equal opportunity employer.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of Your Local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Get started with a career in healthcare through Barton Community College's Pharmacy Technician program. Gain the skills you need to assist pharmacists with the day-to-day demands of a pharmacy. Classes are 100% online and include real-world experiences at a pharmacy near you. Join this essential field in as little as 2 semesters with the flexibility of online classes. Now enrolling. Learn more at pharmtech.bartonccc.edu.
Now, in its second decade, it's Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
Big boy football games all over the place tonight. One of them will take place in Hoxie, where the La Crosse Leopards, 6-3 Leopards, will take on the Hoxie Indians, who come in with a record of 8-1 for that contest. Joining us, head coach of the La Crosse Leopards, John Webster. It's good. It's postseason time. That means we talk to you. So, Coach, thanks for coming back on. Talk about your matchup tonight.
I appreciate getting the invite back on, and when it's November and we're talking, it means we're having a good year.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, you're coming into this game tonight. You got a win last week against a dangerous Sublette team, and took care of business, Coach, winning that contest 60-30 on your home field. Talk about the Friday night victory over the Larks.
We came out and played really well to start. We executed well in all phases, offense, defense. Special teams had the opportunity to make some plays and couldn't quite execute them. But in the middle of the game, we kind of got in a penalty fest. I think the total count was 22 penalties for 225 yards, something like that.
Gee, mate.
And so we were able to overcome some self-inflicted wounds and really pull out a win against a very athletic Sublette team. Their team speed, it might have been the fastest team we played all year. And then they had some injuries, and they did some unorthodox things at the end. I think it was backyard football for them because they had I think it was their 3rd-string quarterback in, and they were just it looked like they were drawing stuff up in the dirt, and but they fought hard and gave us a good battle. But our kids kids did a good job of focusing when we needed plays and took care of business in the big moments.
What adjustments do you make to that during a game? So
it's really hard because sometimes I think they had to move so many kids around with the injuries they've dealt with throughout the year. Kids weren't used to playing positions, and so it really wasn't stuff we had seen on film. At one point, they have a pretty good young sophomore receiver. Their quarterback throws the ball down the left sideline, our sideline, and he runs from the other side. I don't think the ball was intended for him, and he makes a catch and burns us, runs by us. But it was like he came out of nowhere, and that ball wasn't going to him. He just happened to be where it came down at. And so they were able to make some plays in some unconventional ways. But our kids made some adjustments and really focused in the fourth quarter and second half and got their offense kind of stifled there toward the end.
All right, making the trip to Hoxie. Has La Crosse played Hoxie ever?
Yeah, so not this current cycle, but the cycle before we played them week number 2. I take that. It was our first cycle of 8-man. So we played them, 2 years ago at their place. We were up there the year before they came to us when the Obihaha kid, that big 6'10", 7-foot kid they had. He was a senior the first year we played him. We had a good battle here at our place. We lost in a tight game. I don't remember the exact score. And then next year we went up to their place and struggled. Had a couple of big injuries early in the game that forced us to have to do some different stuff. And they were a really talented team that year, and they kind of stuck it to us that year. So we played twice in 8-man football. And then I think if you go back in the annals long enough, there were some 11-man matchups back in the 90s. But not 100% sure on that.
Yeah, when you talk about Hoxie, it's one of those towns you talk about what's in the water, right? I mean, they're always huge. Is that the case this year?
They have probably a 280, 290 kid on their own line, a 260 kid, and their little guys like 225 on their offensive line. So they've got good genes up there, good football players. They've got some speed to go at that size too. They do a lot of things really well. Coach Barr's a really good coach up there, and he has his kids doing a lot of different things that really challenge you as a team to be focused, and we're going to have to be ready to compete and play a physical football game all night long. And the good thing is I think our kids are excited about the opportunity. I think they're excited to go play a good football team and go out and show how we've improved over the year, and just want to get on the field and compete with them. So I feel good going into the game that, our kids are excited to step on the field and get another game in November.
What's unique about playing at Hoxie, Coach?
Well, East-West field, those fields are always a little bit goofy. The sun, here it would be down at kickoff. Going out to Hoxie, we may deal with a little bit of sun just at the start, but then it'll go away. And they have a good atmosphere. They've had success for several years. Their parents, their student body, they show up and support their kids really well. And so it's kind of a hostile environment. It's, a team that expects to do well. So it's those things it really has to bring out the best of what we do. We've got to use our strengths. We are by no means a big team, but we do think we have good speed. Our DMs have to use our speed to attack their big boys up front. And then our linebackers have got to get out and run and try to get ahead of their running backs and skill guys and the different stuff they do. So, it's a team that expects to win every night. There's a lot of tradition there. There's good coaches. There's good athletes. So it really brings out. We're going to have to bring our A game to fight with these guys, and that's exciting. Anytime you can play a team where you have to be at your best, it ramps up the energy and the emotion, and we're just excited to get. We want 7 o'clock to get here a little bit faster. So, the bus ride out there is an hour and a half. It's not terrible, but it's just long enough to where we want to hurry up, get it done with, and be ready to play. So but I think everybody's in that boat right now. I think everybody that's preparing for a game tonight can't wait for 7 o'clock to get here. Just because of the time of the year, what it means, what's on the line, whether it's Great Bend in their playoff game or, us or any other handful of teams in the area that are still playing. So we're just really excited for the opportunity to get one more game together, and hopefully we can take care of our business and do it again next week.
John, what are some things that you'll be looking for to let you know early that, okay, we're doing all right here? Good. This is good.
I think tackling. Are we coming up and finishing tackles on the defensive side? That's always a good key. Are we wrapping up, driving our feet, or are we just kind of throwing our bodies at people? On the offensive side, are we taking care of the football? Are we making the difficult catches? Are we making the easy catches as well? We talked this week when we played Hill City a couple years ago. We dropped a lot of balls that probably would have resulted in big gains, if not touchdowns, and just embracing the moment. That don't let the moment get too big for us, and just go out and make the plays we've made multiple times throughout the season. Just offensively, are we finishing blocks? Are we getting to our spots? Those things. If we can do that, I think we got a chance to line up and compete at a high level, in that mental edge. What happens after the first 3 minutes? Everybody's excited those first 3 minutes. The next 3 minutes, you should really show what teams are ready to play. And so that's kind of where we look to see what's going on with our team is after the emotion of starting the games wore off. What's our attitude like? What's our focus like? And we kind of judge the body language of the opponents the same way. Are they locked in? Are they ready to play a full game? Or, are they thinking about what their girlfriends are doing after the game or where they're going to eat, that kind of stuff. So that 4 to 6 minute mark is really important to me in a game to show that you're mentally prepared to play.
You ready?
I think so. I think our seniors have impressed me this week. We've got a very good focus. They've really grabbed the team and are leading them. They're talking about things they see on film in ways that we haven't really seen this year. And so when the seniors are focused, that always makes coaches feel better because the young kids tend to follow them.
John Webster here with us on Sports Day. Coach, good luck tonight.
Appreciate it, Steve. Thank you.
Okay, John Webster, head coach of La Crosse Leopards. I'll try to get one on the road tonight against the Hoxie Indians. Sports Day rolling on after this.
From the Mayo Money Management Studios, 1590 KVGB, Great Bend, and 95.5 FM K238CK, Hoisington.
If you need physical therapy, consider Advanced Therapy in Great Bend and Progressive Therapy in Larned and Hayes.
Hi, my name is Dalton Jones, a patient that I helped. She came in with chronic back pain that she'd been having for years. After several weeks of showing her exercises, several different interventions, we were able to get her back to where she can do her shopping without leaning on the shopping cart at all.
You don't need to hurt. Physical therapy can help. Call Advanced or Progressive Therapy and Sports Medicine to explore your treatment options and get your life back.
Central and Western Kansas residents, are you looking for a new vehicle? Marmy Auto Group can make it happen. Marmy Auto Group includes Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep and Ram, Chevrolet, and GMC. Marmy Auto Group, your Central and Western Kansas dealer, has new and pre-owned vehicles, or we can special order your vehicle today. If your existing vehicle needs serviced, Marmy's award-winning service department can help. Come to Marmy Auto Group on 10th or marmys.net. Marmys make it happen.
Hey everyone, this is Cole Wright, voice of the Barton Cougars. Attending sporting events for Barton Community College is great, but did you know you can support the athletic teams even further by getting involved with the Cougar Booster Club? The Boosters help with fundraising for equipment and facility upgrades to give Barton athletes every opportunity to keep succeeding at the regional and national levels. Join the Cougar Booster Club as an individual or business. Call 620-792-9377. Become a booster today. Go Cougars.
Sports Day is presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department. Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
And welcome back into Sports Day on a fun Friday preview and some playoff football. I'm Aaron Clark, sitting down with head coach of the Cape and Crusaders, Wes Schartz. Coach, thanks for joining me today. Excited to talk some playoff football with you.
Thanks for having me.
we're just going to dive right on into it. You've got an impressive squad here today, Coach. 8-1 heading into this round 2 matchup with Great Bend. A lot of talented players that you have this year. One that just jumps off the page, though, your standout running back, Amari Elias. What can you tell me about the young running back?
Well, Amari's been a 3-year starter for us. He's about at 2,000 yards again this year. He's rushed for over 2,000 the last 2 years in a row. So he's over 6,000 yards total. He's our guy. As he goes, we go. He's an Air Force Academy commit. He's a 4.0 student, and he's just a great young man, easy to coach, and very talented.
So sounds like he's making it work on the field, off the field. Being an Air Force commit, that is a different level of discipline that you'll have to adhere to at the college level. But what can you tell me about his game? Is he more of a power runner, speed runner? What can we expect to see from Amari on Friday night?
Well, Amari's really upped his game this year. He's been a between-the-tackles guy for us, but lately he's been really good when we run the toss sweep outside. He's got good hands. He's only caught a couple passes, but when he does catch it, he's pretty effective. He's a guy that, combines strength and speed. He's a good kid in the weight room, but you can expect him, if we're going to win this football game, he's going to have to carry the ball 30 to 35 times for us to get that done.
But running behind a line that you return 4 starting offensive linemen on, and I believe you use a fullback in there pretty heavily as well. What can you tell me about the run game around the Amari Elias, the guys making it work around the running back?
Well, our fullback's pretty good, too. I think he's rushed for about maybe 500 or 600 yards, and he'll hit the fullback trap, and he'll hit the outside veer, and he's a good blocker, but he's 5'6", 160 pounds, and just a really tough kid. We'll have a fullback 90% of the time that we snap the ball. We're old traditional power I. Sometimes we'll have 3 backs, sometimes we'll have 2. But our offensive line, they all returned from last year, and they're doing a great job for us.
There's some big bodies up there. Looks like you're not hurting for size at all. I hear you saying you got some power run going. What's one of the more lean-on plays, if you don't mind digging into your schemes a little bit? Expect to see some power. You mix in any counter? What makes the Crusader offense hum?
Well, we will run off tackle a lot. Block down, kick out. If they're taking that away, look for us to run sweep. They're taking that away, we're going to get beat. So, we got to be able to run the off tackle or the sweep, and we can also run the old Nebraska fullback trap and do pretty well with that. Our quarterback's capable too. We just haven't had to use him much this year. We've been in really just one close game, and that was the Northwest game when we were actually had 21-7, and we lost that lead and lost them 35-28. And then we had one more game with Heights. It was a kind of a nail-biter for us. But we're just old school. We're going to run between the tackles, and I'm sure Great Bend's going to stack it up between the tackles, and we'll see what happens.
And I was hoping to hit on that quarterback, Dylan Hamilton. He's a senior for you, and like you said, might not have the craziest numbers, but having a senior signal caller has to do a lot for your offense. What does Hamilton bring to the team?
Well, he's won 23 games in 3 years. So if we would happen to win another one, that would be an average of 8 games a year, which is pretty good. He's a leader. He knows how to run the offense. He's got plenty of experience. We were one play away from going to the state championship his sophomore year when May scored on a 2-point play to beat us. So he's been in big games. He doesn't have to make big plays for us to win. He just has to maintain and run the offense. But we may need him to make a few plays tonight because Great Bend's got a very good defense. We know it. And we're going to have to attack with our fullback, tailback, and quarterback in order to be successful.
Aaron Clark sitting down with head coach of the Capon Crusaders, Wes Schartz. Now, Coach, flipping it over, looking at your defense, you've got some young talent over there with a trio of juniors playing some significant time last year when they were sophomores. What can you tell me about the Crusader defense this year?
Well, leading tackler is our middle linebacker, number 41, Cahill. He's just been all over the field. Very good football player. Jackson Daniels, number 1, is extremely good outside backer. And we have a Division I player in Kyle Kia. He currently holds 3 D1 offers, and one of them's K-State, Iowa State, and I can't remember the third. He's just an athlete. He's 6'4", 210, and can run. So we got some people. Our secondary's been good. The Thingwell brothers at corners, they're 6'3" and 6'4", the basketball players. We've got some athletes that can make some plays defensively, but we've had trouble at times stopping the run. So, we'll see what happens. But Great Bend runs it pretty well, and they're pretty patient, and we're going to have to play good run defense and adjust to all of the crazy formations that Great Bend presents.
And so talking about some of the athletes you have on your roster, is that a difference from maybe years in past? You have a more elite crop of athletes this year, or what sets apart this year's 8-1 squad from years past?
Well, 2 years ago we were at 9-2, and 3 years ago we were 10-2. So we're in familiar territory. Last year we were 5-5. We lost a lot of people, so it's in the last 4 years we've been a solid football team. But this team's got more individual talent as far as Division I type guys. Nate Thingwell, our corners, committed to KU in track. Will Thingwell, his brother's going to Washburn to play basketball. Kyle Kia, our outside backers, has 3 D1 offers. Jackson Daniels finished second as a freshman in javelin. So we got athletes, individual athletes. So that kind of sets them apart because we can match up with some of the city schools that have those D1 type of players and been a problem for us.
And so talking about some of those city schools, you've played some real talented teams and still managed to put up some pretty impressive results. Your lone loss on the year coming to a Northwest squad that has a lot of talent, shows they're capable of putting up some offense, and you guys were right there neck and neck in that game. How do you feel playing in the City League prepares you for the postseason?
Well, half the teams prepare you because it's very top-heavy. There's probably 4 teams in the league that are good, and then you get to the bottom of the league, and it's not real good. So there are some weeks that you don't get much of a challenge, and there's some weeks that you're going to play good athletes. You can always depend on, having to defend a good tailback, good receivers, and fast defensive line. So I think it does prepare us when we go out and play, in the second, third round of the playoffs, because we've seen athletes. East High's got the best athletes in the state on their football team, and they're a very good team. And Northwest is good too. So we've seen great tailbacks, we've seen good receivers, and hopefully we won't be overwhelmed by anybody else that we play as far as talent, and I think it gets us ready.
So, Coach, that matchup against Northwest was actually the last time your team surrendered over 21 points. Seems like you're clicking on all cylinders. What are your final thoughts heading into tonight's matchup against Great Bend?
Great Bend lives on the short field, on the offense, the opposing offense making mistakes. They capitalize on almost everything that they get. They pick balls up, they onside kicks. They're just an opportunistic football team. And our goal is not to give them a short field. If we don't give them a short field, we think we got an excellent shot at winning. And that's a big key. Just not giving them a short field, make them drive the length of the field, make them make their plays, and have them stop us. I think it's a good matchup. They're methodical on offense, in my opinion, as far as we know what they're going to do. They have some trick plays. They know what we're going to do. So it's going to be a matchup of the will to win. And they're a young team. I'd hate to play them in a couple more years. They got a lot of young players.
That is head coach of the Capon Crusaders, Weston Schartz. Coach, thanks so much for sitting down with me today, and good luck tonight.
Okay, thank you.
We'll have more Sports Day coming up right after this.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Amy Herrera, Regional Retail Manager for your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time and I've helped many people navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people. I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you how we're committed to serving you in our communities. At Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Extend the life of your equipment with Cenex Premium Greases. Engineered with quality-based oils and well-balanced formulas to protect equipment in a wide range of temperatures and tough conditions. The Cenex line of grease products offer excellent rust protection, water resistance, and anti-wear properties to extend equipment life. Cenex Grease delivers the dependability you need to keep your operation running like a well-oiled machine.
Contact American Plains Co-op Fuel Department in Great Bend, your certified Cenex distributor, today.
Get started with a career in healthcare through Barton Community College's Pharmacy Technician program. Gain the skills you need to assist pharmacists with the day-to-day demands of a pharmacy. Classes are 100% online and include real-world experiences at a pharmacy near you. Join this essential field in as little as 2 semesters with the flexibility of online classes. Now enrolling. Learn more at pharmtech.bartoncccc.edu.
Sports Day is presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department. Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Oh, and welcome on back into Sports Day this afternoon. A great show as we had Sunflower Sports Solutions' Connor Nickel along with lacrosse football coach John Webster, and you got to hear from Cable Mount Carmel football coach Weston Schartz. A full day of Sports Day brought to you in part by Advanced Therapy and Sports Medicine. Get your life back. And by the Great Bend Co-op Bulk Fuel Department, your certified Cenex lubricant dealer in Great Bend. Aaron Clark wrapping up the show this afternoon along with Mr. Garrett Fitzpatrick wearing, well, a hat that looks like it might fit my big old head.
Might fit your big old melon. There you go.
It just might. But why don't you tell us a little bit about the huge Chiefs hat you're rocking in the studio today?
All right. You know that little storybook, do you like my hat? Do you like my hat? Do you like my party hat? Well, you can win this Chiefs hat. We have a little thing going on Facebook, our Great Bend Rec Facebook post. You need to just like our Facebook page and go on there, and you'll see the first one you'll see right now is myself on there with a couple of Great Bend Panther football players. And it's a simple contest to win this. All you need to do is under the comment section, post a picture of Great Bend winning tonight. Let's see, the Chiefs play early Sunday morning. You can do get a picture of you grilling up your sausage, biscuits and gravy or whatever you're going to have.
Your bratwurst.
Yeah, your bratwurst. There you go. Whatever it be, a picture of your flag football team, a football picture related, a tailgate, you dressed up as your best Chief gear or whatever. That contest will end this Sunday at 5 o'clock on our Facebook page. Staff's had a lot of fun with our big hats, doing some posts and some live posts on there, so you can go back and look at some of the staff on there. But anyway, like I said, then Monday we do a random drawing. The Facebook does the drawing for us. It's just, it enters, however many posts you have, it just has a wheel or whatever and picks the winner, and we'll be contacting you through Facebook post messenger for the winner that was lucky enough to get their name picked by Facebook drawing or whatever it's called.
I gotta say, it's a good looking hat. If you're not familiar, they're just these oversized, looks like just a normal ball cap, just scaled up probably about 30%.
They're a little bit big and they're a lot of fun. We have some others coming that we're going to do some other contests. So we just encourage you to make sure you like our Facebook page, Great Bend Rec Facebook. Post a comment, a picture of the Great Bend winning tonight. When you're sitting in the stands, shoot a picture of the stands and everything, or whatever you like. Just make it a football post. So appreciate it. Let's blow up the page with Great Bend victory tonight.
Make sure you can enter that contest over on the Great Bend Rec Center's Facebook page. We're wrapping up Sports Day this afternoon. A great show. Thanks for coming in for the end segment here, Gary.
Hey, you bet ya.
All right, so that will wrap up Sports Day today. Make sure you tune in next week as it will be a full Monday show on Sports Day. We'll have a recap of the sports weekend that was. We'll be going over all of the high school matchups, a full college slate, including some big matchups in the Big 12, including the Kansas State Wildcats traveling down to Texas to take on the Longhorns, and the Jayhawks traveling up to Iowa State to Jack Trice Stadium, battling the Cyclones. We'll also cover the NFL as the Chiefs travel to Germany, taking on the Miami Dolphins tomorrow morning, with coverage starting at 7 o'clock over on B1043 The Point. You can catch a wrap-up of all of that on Monday right here on Sports Day, only on 1590 KVGB and 95.5